Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Tim Weigel. I'm the statewide grape and hops IPM specialist with the New York State IPM program and also with the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. It's July 2nd, 2018, and need to talk about Grape Berry Moth. Those of you that have been involved with the industry for quite a while, you know, this is not the traditional timing for Grape Berry Moth. Typically, when the Grape Berry Moth risk assessment protocol came into place in 1989, we went from an automatic 3 sprays to looking at classifying your vineyards as a high, low, or intermediate risk. The high risk would get an automatic 10-day post-bloom application, and then third week of July we'd go out and look, see if we needed another application for the intermediate or low risk. At that third week, we didn't need to worry about the high risk. We were just going to spray them again in August, the first week of August. So here we are, July 2nd. We're well past the 10 days post-bloom spray, and we're quite a ways away from that third week in July going out and scouting. But with the new Grape Berry Moth phenology degree day model developed by Mike Saunders and Greg Loeb, Rufus Isaac, we now know that we can go into NEWA and click on our station closest to us. We've set a biofix date of the wild grape bloom to tell us when to start calculating degree days. And we know that it takes, from the work that has been done over the years, we know that it takes about 810 degree days at a base temperature of 47.14 degrees Fahrenheit, about 810, to go from an egg to a female that's laying an egg. So we say, all right, 810 degree days, we need to go out and we need to get an insecticide on in those vineyards, either our high-risk vineyards or the vineyards where we've done some scouting and it shows that we're above the 6% damage cluster threshold. So what we're doing is we're going out and we're going to look at 50 clusters. We're going to pick 5 vines in one area of the edge. We're going to look at 10 clusters per each of those vines. We're going to go down to the next site on the edge, 5 more vines, randomly select 10 clusters and look for damage. And then we have 100 clusters for the edge. And so the number of clusters will tell us what percent damage. So if we have 6 clusters out of 100, that's 6%. That's the 100 makes it really easy. So we're just going to go through and look for damage. The damage in Concords, especially this time of year, is you're going to go through and you're going to just look really carefully, and right there we can see a little purplish berry. When the berry moth egg hatches, the larva comes out, it starts feeding directly into the berry. So it starts feeding directly into the berry and it causes it to turn color, so it's a little purple thing. So it's really easy. 1 berry is a damaged cluster. You don't have to go through, keep track of how many berries per cluster are damaged at this point in time. Just if you got 1, you move on to the next. We were scouting in here and we didn't come up with the 6% cluster damage, and so chances are we don't need to spray this vineyard. Looking at the model, if you go on to NEWA and you look at the model, what you're going to come up with is this, and it'll tell you what the 2 days past the current degree days are, how many degree days you're picking up. And one of the reasons that we're so far ahead this year is because we've been picking up 30, 35 degree days every day for the past few days when we've been in the upper 80s, low 90s, and it hasn't cooled down that much at night. So we can see it forecasts out 5 days, and looking at the forecast, July 5th, so in 3 more days, if we were going to need a spray, we should be putting it on at that 810 degree mark. So now's the time to go out and look in your vineyards, do some scouting, pull up the model information almost on a daily basis now, because we just don't know, we're moving so quickly through it. You don't want to get caught by surprise. And when you're out looking around, you're going to see some other things. You're going to see we found some thrip damage out here today. We found some powdery mildew. Most of it was on the shoulders of the Concords. Right now, we're so far past bloom that the berries themselves are immune to the powdery mildew, but we can see where some of the earlier infections that happened have taken the smaller berries that didn't slough off. They showed some signs of infection, and also the shoulders of some of them. But for right now, what you see is what you get or will have for powdery mildew later into the season. With powdery mildew, what we're really worried about now is our foliage. So you want to keep, especially if you have a heavier than normal crop, you want to protect your foliage. We're going to get powdery mildew, comes in late every year. So this is my suggestion that next week will be about 30 days post bloom. So you should get out and do some crop estimation. See if you have a heavier than average crop. See if you need to thin it. If you're not going to thin it, at least make sure that you maintain powdery mildew protection for your foliage to help you ripen that crop. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, suggestions of what podcasts we can do in the future, please leave them in the comment section below.